Welcome to a JJShow breaking news podcast. I'm currently on vacation and had no idea that the FBI Director James Comey would end up coming out the day after the 4th of July to give his recommendation to the Department of Justice over what's going to happen to Hillary Clinton, or not going to happen to Hillary Clinton, as it relates to her homebrew server. He has come out and said no indictment. Maybe this is a good thing. I'll explain here in just a moment. This is coming from an angle of I wanted to see an indictment, but looking at the bigger picture, perhaps no indictment is the best thing that could have happened if you step back from everything far enough. So just a brief setting of the stage. Hillary Clinton in her time as Secretary of State used a homebrew server. We all know this. She claimed there was no criminal intent involved. There was no criminal activity involved, talking about the classification of emails and how they weren't classified at the time, but they became classified later on. As of the past couple of weeks, we'd have numerous situations of potential scandal, doing that thing with my fingers, of Bill Clinton meeting on the tarmac gate, Sky Harbor Gate in Phoenix with Loretta Lynch, and going on the plane where they apparently talked about grandchildren, but nobody really buys into it. And then over the weekend, Hillary Clinton ends up spending somewhat 3-4 hours being grilled by the FBI. Okay, so which leads us to this morning. I'm currently on vacation. I'm here in Southern California and opened up the iPad to kind of check on the news of the day before going about our vacation plans to see that the FBI director is going to make a statement. And everybody assumes that this statement is going to be something in regards to Hillary Clinton and the homebrew server, and it was. He basically laid out in the course of 15 minutes that Hillary Clinton is incompetent and stupid, just not criminally incompetent and stupid. Sitting with my dad and watching James Comey speak about the various emails that were classified, at the time, and then upclassified, the amount of negligence involved, the potential for the server to have been hacked, even though they couldn't find any evidence of that. But because of the fact that they couldn't find any evidence doesn't mean that it was hacked. They said that was something that would have been very difficult to find. It's clear the FBI did a thorough investigation. I don't have any doubt about that at all. And as a matter of fact, I was talking with my dad about it earlier this morning and saying, you've got so many people involved at the FBI as it relates to this investigation. You want to believe that there's somebody involved in the FBI that would look at this and go, look, this is criminal, this is wrongdoing, even if there was somebody saying, no, we can't go and indict her because of the political ramifications. So over the course of 15 minutes, it really seemed as if James Comey was heading towards an indictment. That's what it looked like. And at the end, he said that he was going to recommend no indictment to the Department of Justice. Now, one quick point. Just because the FBI doesn't recommend an indictment to the Department of Justice doesn't mean the Department of Justice can't itself then go and bring about charges. I don't think Loretta Lynch will. I don't think you believe that Loretta Lynch is going to. I don't think anybody believes that Loretta Lynch is going to. But this is still going to be a political football for the rest of this campaign season, because I doubt that the Department of Justice is going to move on this anytime soon. All right, so you basically have James Comey coming out and saying, in the course of 15 minutes, that Hillary Clinton is incompetent and stupid, but just not criminally such. This might have been the best scenario that could have happened, especially as it relates to this election and Hillary Clinton not becoming president. Regardless of how you feel about Trump, let's just focus on Hillary Clinton not being president. Hillary Clinton gets indicted, and the campaign is officially over, in my opinion. Now, technically, the amount of information that was given out this morning that refutes what Hillary Clinton has said over the course of the past few years while this investigation has been going on, or any comments about it, it's completely contradictory. This provides fodder, endless fodder, for Donald Trump to go after Hillary Clinton. Any other candidate who had this type of accusation levied against them, their campaign would officially be over and done. So, while I want to see justice and you want to see justice, James Comey said that no prosecuting attorney would go and bring about charges based off the evidence that they have. It doesn't mean she didn't do anything wrong. It just means that there wasn't enough there for criminal charges. And again, any other candidate would be fired, or would their campaign would be over. Well, any person in business would be fired if they did this. But any other candidate, their campaign would be over. Technically, Hillary Clinton's campaign should be over. Technically, what was exposed here was Hillary Clinton's complete and total incompetency. And without getting into the details of this on the podcast, there was plenty of fodder and criticism towards not only the homebrew server, but the fact that she was overseas using this in countries where the potential for hacking was incredibly high. I say that this may have been the best outcome because if you have a Hillary Clinton indictment, the campaign's over, and then you have the potential of a Joe Biden rushing in to save everybody and him winning the election in a landslide. If we're looking at this election in terms of how do we keep Hillary Clinton from being in the White House, or how do we keep a Democrat from being in the White House more specifically, this was potentially the best outcome. There's more than enough here for Donald Trump if he doesn't act like an idiot and he plays his cards right. There's more than enough here by Donald Trump to be able to go and use this against her on the campaign and further reinforce what many Democrats believe about her, that she is incompetent and stupid. I think that the VP pick for Donald Trump is even more critical now than it was prior. And if he can calm down, quit saying stupid things, pick a good VP pick, he should, given the evidence that was released this morning and the damning words, regardless of no indictment, the damning words by James Comey, he should be able to use this against her. And if he can pick a good VP pick and convince enough people that the VP pick and himself combined will be okay. And that's really all you need, just okay. Just say you'll be transparent. Don't say stupid things. Don't be so divisive. He should be able to win this election. So while many of us wanted to see an indictment of Hillary Clinton, we're not going to get it. Many of us didn't believe that we were going to get it. But sans an indictment, we did get the best thing we could have gotten. And that was she showed no signs of intent. She's just stupid. And I don't know about you, but that's even more dangerous in my opinion. I mean, look, and we can argue about that. You can argue whether or not incompetency is worse than stupidity or stupidity is worse than incompetency. But in this case, it turns out that Hillary Clinton, had no intent, at least according to the FBI in regards to the email. She was just simply incompetent. And I don't want anybody incompetent running the country. Then again, I'm also talking about Donald Trump being president. So what am I saying? No, you get what I mean. I won't use this as a moment to pick on Donald Trump. We have that candidate. That's what we have to live with. But I was hoping in the podcast to simply take a moment and say, whoa, for those that are saying the fix is in, hey, that might be. But maybe what we got was a gift in disguise. And certainly is going to make these the RNC, the DNC, and these debates coming up even more interesting than what we were expecting prior to James Comey coming out this morning. So before you start, freaking out, just know that perhaps this was a gift. If anything, this election is not getting boring anytime soon. Hey, thanks for checking out the podcast. Subscribe on iTunes. I'm going to go back to enjoying my vacation. I'll be back live in studio on Monday, July 11th. I hope you had a great 4th, and thanks for listening and downloading. Bye. That's money. I should know and fall.